Okay, well, hello and welcome again to this, our last video on our selections from Thucydides, Book 4. We're going to finish off with chapter 41. So we begin with a genitive absolute. So when the men having been brought back, when the men were brought back, understand, to Athens, the Athenians decided to keep guard on them in chains, so to keep them in chains until Sumbosin they might come to some agreement, until some decision were made, until they come to some agreement. And if the Spartans before this time were to invade their land, bringing out these men that they've got in chains, they would kill them. And they set up a guard over Pylos, and those Messians from Naupactus, having sent those who were most fit among themselves, as though into this their fatherland, into their own homeland. And then we get this explained, for Pylos perhaps belongs to the land that was once Messenian. So having sent them, they began to ravage Laconia, and being of the same language, so speaking the same dialect, they did the most damage. So they did much other damage. And the Spartans, being amathes, being, well, literally unlearned, well, we know they were unlearned, but I think here, not having experienced in previous time Leisteas, this devastation and such a manner of war, so that having happened, and genitive absolute, the helots having deserting, so it's a present participle, and the helots deserting, and they fearing lest, now this is a little bit difficult, so also they fearing lest also that a certain, well, you've got to take the as a certain part of those in the land, so that some section of their land, this is a passive here, might be revolutionized, and you can take the tip with that in some way. So either, so lest, partitive genitive, some of those in their land might be revolutionized for in some way, sphici, against them, macroteron, to an even greater extent. They did not bear this easily. They found this very difficult. They did not bear this easily, but Kaiper plus participle, although not wishing for themselves to be plain to the Athenians, so in other words, not wishing to make it plain to the Athenians that they were worried about all these things, they sent to them an embassy, and they attempted, komizestai here is to recover Pylos and the men. But they, this is the Athenians, oregonto, they were aiming for, they were reaching out for, literally, greater things. So they were aiming for greater gains. And although they, we have to understand, the Spartans were oftentimes going back and forth They, the Athenians, sent them away apractus, unsuccessful. And tauta menta peripoulon genomena. These are the things which took place around Pylos. And that is the final in the series of our reading Thucydides in the story of Pylos and Sphacteria.